Hello, everybody, and welcome to April. Yes, it is the start of Q2 for 2023. The spring weather, I hope, is here. The spring market has been here for a while. Let's take a look at the March stats and give you a full update on where the market is at. So the number one thing that everybody cares about, average sale price. It's a great number to look at to gauge where the market is at. And from February to March, there wasn't really much of a change, okay? The sale price in February was about $615,000, and on average in March, that number was $619,772. So that represents an uptick of $4,400, which represents an increase in the average sale price of 0.7%, with a little bit of rounding in there. I would call that more of a lateral move, though, okay? Less than 1%, I would say, is not a super meaningful number on a month-over-month basis. However, I would say that it is a good sign for the real estate market that things seem to be leveling off, or at least representing a little bit more of a predictable landscape, which will provide a lot more confidence to people in the real estate market moving forward, all right? Two more things that I want to look at. Number one, number of sales. And the number of sales last month, we had 476. Again, this is just London. 476, which compared to the 10-year average, not great, but compared to February, compared to the 10-year average, was good, okay? So 476 sales in March represented 76% of the 10-year average that we would expect for March. In February, that number was 69% of the 10-year average for February. So that represents a little bit of an uptick. And that's something that I've been paying close attention to for the better part of a year now, because as sales numbers were starting to decline, I wanted to compare them to the previous 10 years to get an idea of, well, where does this stand in the context of a decade, all right? And last year, it was poor. It's been getting a lot better. So we're seeing those numbers, those sales numbers are starting to tick up more closer to the average that we would expect. New listings, and I wrote it down so I didn't forget, new listings last month were 708. And that also would be a low number compared to the 10-year average. And that falls in line with the theme of the month, which was there's nothing good for sale. We've got a lot of clients that are looking to buy something right now, and either the houses that they wanted were getting snatched up, or they were losing in multiple offers, or there just was nothing to look at. And that was, 700 seems like a lot of listings, but depending on what people are looking for, it's pretty slim pickings out there, okay? And those two things combined, I think, are gonna equate to a fairly robust spring market after Easter. I think Easter is like the second benchmark for the spring market. The second week of January, that's the beginning, and then things really take a jump off after Easter. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong, but I would expect sales to uptick, and I would expect new listings to take a nice little uptick as well. A couple of other little tidbits for the market. Said I'm expecting things to get a little bit hotter, a little bit more competitive, and I'm not gonna pretend that it hasn't already started. I look at stats almost every day in the real estate market, whether it's new listings or sales, or sale price to list price ratio, or sales to new listings ratio, or how many sale listings went from conditional depending versus active depending, or what is the percentage of sales that were above list price, etc. I look at a lot of stuff on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis, and I think that keeps me informed. Now, one thing that I like to keep track of is the percentage of sales that sold for more than list price. And if we were to rewind a year ago, that number would be like 70%. It's the inverse now, where only 30%-ish of sales are going above list price. But again, that number is starting to tick up, and we're starting to hear more stories about multiple offers, homes selling firm as opposed to conditional, and a lot more competition from out-of-area buyers. So I will say this. If you were a person that was hoping to wait to get into the real estate market when you didn't have to compete, or you weren't gonna have to fight against Toronto buyers, you may have missed your chance, because they're back in full force And I'm thinking that we're going to see a lot more multiple offer scenarios and home selling for over list price in the next 30 days. And it's just going to feel hotter. It's going to feel more competitive and more difficult out there. So fair warning to everyone thinking about getting into the market in the next month, next 60 days. Get ready for a fight. Get your ducks in a row so that you're able to compete and make an informed decision when you do find the right thing, which again has been very rare lately. All right, I'm Cam Vandersloot. Thanks for tuning in for my market update, the real market update. Can't wait to see what the major news outlets come out with this month to make it seem like the world is falling. Cheers. You have a nice day.